Welcome. If you're here to relax, then pour yourself a beverage and get comfy while I read you a fairy tale. I wrote this story with subtle humor to make you smile. I leave it up to you to decipher the moral of this story at the end. And if you watch until the end, I've added some bonus clips. Now I'll turn the page so we can begin the story. Long ago, in a faraway land, there lived a lonely little princess named Lona, whose parents gave her everything her heart desired, except for love and attention. There were no other children at the castle to keep Lona company, so she entertained herself with stories of adventures, princes, and dragons. On her 10th birthday, Princess Lona exclaimed that all she wanted was a baby dragon to keep her company. The servants warned her that dragons grow up to be very large and mean, but the little princess didn't care. And instead of using common sense, the king and queen ordered their servants to find a dragon. If she wants a dragon, let it be so. Throughout the years, the servants watched as the girl became more dependent on the dragon and more demanding towards them. When Lona turned 18, she ordered the servants to find her a husband with the one requirement that he be the most handsome young man in the entire kingdom. The servants obeyed her orders, as the king and queen had always told them to do. But this time, the servants were wrong. Less than ambitious, and without a penny to his name, the servants returned the most handsome man to the princess, and they married without the king and queen's consent. The royal parents were irate with their daughter's decision to marry a commoner against their wishes, and immediately renounced the young couple. The newlyweds were forced to leave the castle and move to a small house. Lona immediately wanted to have her first child, believing a newborn would win over her parents, and ultimately the royal inheritance. After the birth, Lona realized the king and queen still wanted nothing to do with the disloyal daughter who had deceived them when she married a mere peasant. Lona didn't know how to care for a baby and couldn't afford to hire a nursemaid. A panicked Lona beckoned her old friend for help.
Dragon, what can I do? I'm tired of living in poverty and long to be wealthy again.
The dragon thought for a moment and assured Lona that she could have all the riches she desired, but it would cost her. The dragon, knowing hatchlings were on the way, encouraged Lona to have even more children so they could grow up and care for the dragon babies. Once old enough, the dragon would take the children from Lona in exchange for the riches she longed for. But there was a condition. The children had to demonstrate a talent that met the dragon's standards. Lona agreed to trade her talented progenies for fortune and went on to have 3 more children. The eldest daughter, Elna, grew up to be a defiant young lass who expressed an interest and talent in art. As soon as Elna could care for the hatchlings, Lona sent her daughter with the dragon in exchange for the finest wines and feasts. Elna was used to watching her siblings and was now expected to tend to the dragon babies. However, a defiant Elna became so focused on her art that she neglected the young creatures, and the dragon became infuriated. Lona's second daughter, Trinity, was a timid girl who spent most of her time in nature and had the gift of communicating with the creatures of the land. But Lona didn't recognize this as a talent and thought her to be a silly girl. Although still quite young, an agitated Lona decided she wanted more riches, so she painted her daughter's face in makeup, adorned her in an enchanting gown, and offered her to the dragon, hoping beauty would outshine any lack of talent. Trinity was wise beyond her years and instinctively knew any attention given to the dragon would feed its malevolence, so she blindfolded herself and silently prayed until a white dove appeared. The dragon was mesmerized by the child's beauty. In return, Lona was awarded the most glamorous threads of gold and a crown of jewels. Now Lona had the means to spoil her only son, Anthony. Anthony learned at an early age how to please his mother to get what he wanted. He was charming and charismatic at the youthful age of 12, and his presence afforded Lona the attention she always craved. Lona didn't want to give Anthony up, but the dragon saw potential in the lad and had another hatchling that needed tending to. The very innovative dragon saw potential in the boy's natural charm and strategic mind, so Anthony was left on a deserted beach with books to learn about business strategies and motivational tactics. Lona's youngest daughter, Belle, was the most outwardly talented of all the children, with an inherent ability to play music at a very early age. Lona was eager to receive more riches from the dragon and allowed the dragon to take Belle to live in the forest, where she would be gifted with instruments so she could play music for the older dragons. So pleased with the young Belle, the dragon bestowed Lona with a beautiful castle in which to dwell. Now that Lona had no children to feed and all the riches she desired, she no longer had a need for her husband, who was becoming less handsome with time. Lona asked the dragon for one last favor.
I want to get rid of my husband and revel in all my riches.
So the dragon waited for a dark and stormy evening and took the husband to a deserted shore to fend for himself. Elna was eventually punished for her disobedience and taken to an abandoned building to spend the rest of her days alone with her art supplies. Trinity continued to have faith as she called upon her white dove. At times, the dragon would just gaze at her, mesmerized by her beauty and grace. Being around Trinity put the dragon at ease. Anthony grew up to become a spiritual guru and was sent to visit the kingdom often, where he would form a cult and lead them to the dragon's lair. Belle did not know how to communicate with people, so she spent the rest of her adult years focused on playing music for the dragon. Although she followed her passion, she was never able to share it with the rest of the world. The husband had survived the storm and quite enjoyed his freedom from Lona as he grew old on the deserted shoreline. What happened to Lona, you wonder? Well, now that she had nothing more to offer, she was held captive to serve the evil dragon for the rest of her life. Trinity's continued faith caused the dove to grow powerful enough to whisk her away from the dragon's clutches, and she lived in peace, eternally, ever after. The end.
New focus this morning on the JonBenet Ramsey case. The 6-year-old beauty contest winner taken overnight from her bed just after Christmas in 1996.
A mother in Arizona is accused of horrible abuse behind the scenes of her family's popular YouTube series. Videos of her 7 adopted children have been viewed millions of times, but the mother was arrested days ago and charged with a sickening series of crimes.